Welcome back to my channel, where today I'm going to talk about why I, as a wife, limit the amount of social media I use in order to maintain peace and calmness within my marriage. I talk to you about this topic as I wash and organize containers that I'm going to store all my pastas in, basically just organizing my pantry. So without further ado, the reason why I limit the amount of social media that I use as a married woman is because social media for me creates a false sense of reality. It's an illusion, and social media always pushes the highlights, the happy parts, the special moments or the best moments, but never the real life moments, which is why I don't use Instagram. I limit the amount of time I am on other apps such as TikTok or Facebook, because I've come to realize over time that this false sense of reality would easily lead me to having expectations of my husband that I allow to be fed through external forces rather than it being an authentic desire that I wanted. It would lead to me comparing. When I would see people that would travel all the time, I would look at my husband and then think, why aren't we traveling? When actually where we are right now, I'm satisfied with. But I'm pushing negativity and a false reality into my marriage, which was never coming from an authentic place of what I truly wanted. Now, the next reason, and I'm sure you can probably relate to this, is social media. All the apps are definitely a time theft. Yes, they steal my time, they steal my energy, but time I can never get back. I really feel annoyed about, especially on my phone. I remember it would always pop up and give me a summary at the end of the week as to how long I've been spending on apps. And I realized that social media was taking away my attention span. It was diverting my attention from the real world, from reality, into the virtual world, into the digital world, which is far removed from my actual day-to-day life. It's like a real life dream that I would continually go back to over and over again, but there's no productive outputs from doing that. I would just watch content on and digest, and allow what I'm watching to dictate me. And in the end, all the time I've spent has been serving the world rather than serving my home and my marriage and peace within myself. Not only would it steal my time, but also my peace. So an example of this was I completely stopped watching the news, particularly Sky News as an example, because I realized that all the negative stories were having an impact on me. External factors would regularly make me feel uncomfortable, things out of my control. But I would live and act as though it was readily affecting me on a day-to-day. And it was just a very unhealthy mindset I had. And so I have stopped watching news completely, basically. I only get it if I'm told about it from my husband. But the amount of time I would spend just watching the news over and over again and really just feeling some type of way about what I was seeing meant that there was very little time for me to actually grow in my real life. Now, I wouldn't say that social media is the number one cause for divorce. Absolutely not. But it's definitely a contributing factor. I know just from my friends and people around me that a lot of drama that happens in their life or in their relationships is purely led by social media, by looking at their partners, what they're doing, how much time they're on their phone, who and what account they're looking at. It's like a third person in the relationship. And in this day and age where we hear so much about marriages failing, for me it's me putting in that extra effort to just safeguard my peace of mind and my home as much as possible. Social media and the algorithms behind it are trained specifically to catch our attention, to keep us engaged on the app, on the platform. And therefore, there's bound to be content, such as sexual content or enticing content, may I say, that can lead to infidelity after a long road, or it can lead to a lot of unhealthy habits with the app, viewing profiles, viewing things and temptations. And the enemy will always try and use something that was only supposed to be for a moment to become a consistent craving, an unhealthy craving. And that's where I believe infidelity can happen sometimes from social media as well. I know jealousy definitely comes from overusage of it. And so it's really important for me to understand the negative impacts of social media and to fight against it as much as possible. Now, I do believe that social media isn't all doom and gloom. There's definitely positives to it. I mean, I'm creating content on the social media platform, but I choose to try and use the platform as much as I can for creative purposes, or to follow very select channels that I really enjoy watching or I'm inspired by, rather than just endless scrolling. Besides, having a 7-month-old definitely makes it trickier as well, because all my attention's going to him. So he's actually helped safeguard me anyway from overusage. One thing I will say as well is that the best marriages and the happiest marriages are rarely reflected online. Now, social media isn't all bad. It definitely has its pros and benefits. But in a nutshell, too much overusage of it, I believe, can have a negative impact in the long term. I love this topic because it's something I really care about. And if you enjoyed this video too, please like, subscribe, leave a comment below, and I'll see you in the next video.